Mark Consuelos, presenter of Live with Kelly and Mark, is often quite laid back. However, on a recent episode, he revealed a bizarre mix-up with Al Roker, the weatherman of the Today Show, which made him feel better. There's a moment of mistrust from Mark Consuelos. Mark Consuelos, host of Live with Kelly and Mark, shared a humorous memory of an odd cross with Al Roker during the Tuesday, February 3 program. Mark and Kelly Ripa had an odd encounter with Al Roker of the Today Show early in their romance. It first caused a small amount of marital mistrust that Kelly wasn't prepared for. Al Roker and Mark Consuelos have a strange mix-up. Kelly Ripa, the host of Live with Kelly and Mark, discloses that Mark Consuelos questioned her devotion due to a technical issue. Occasionally at that time, a problem in Kelly and Mark's phone provider would cause their texts to switch. Their iPhones would perform strange things because they were with the same phone provider. Without a doubt, it led to Mark's worrying circumstances developing suddenly. Mark Consuelos also remembers seeing the entire paragraph appear on his screen. "Hey, sweetie, when can we have dinner?" is what he recalls the text saying. Al, love. Kelly, however, takes issue with the phrase, "Hey, sweetie." According to her, Mark was putting his own twist on the message. She realized it was funny now, but she didn't laugh at the stressful moment. Mark admitted that he wasn't as laid back about it at the time, even though he could now joke about it. "She gets back into bed and I go, 'Who the blank is Al?'" He continued, "Who is Al?" However, Kelly Ripa, host of Live with Kelly and Mark, was quick to correct the record and calm her husband's nerves. "Our new best friend Al Roker," says Kelly in a hurry. When Mark Consuelos acknowledges, "Of course, Al, of course," he concedes. After the matter was resolved, they both recall laughing a lot. They believe it may still hold promise for the future even though they never went on the couple's date. Following their discussion about sports, they brought up the prospect of meeting up with their close friend Al. They even mentioned that they would play off Al's classic Today Show sign-off and go to his neck of the woods. Furthermore, Mark had once made a mistake while stepping in as a weatherman and utilized a quote from the competitor network that was attributed to Al. Kelly makes a joke about Al at the end of the piece, saying, "He's my lover." However, Mark was now able to comprehend that title and said, "I condone that." How do you feel about the strange confusion between Al Roker, Kelly Ripa, and Mark Consuelos? Do you find the stories that Kelly and Mark share on Live with Kelly and Mark entertaining? Morning television thrives on chaos, the kind of light, unpredictable chaos that gets fans talking. Viewers tune in not just for polished interviews or carefully rehearsed segments, but for the mishaps, the unscripted laughs, and those bizarre, once-in-a-lifetime moments that live forever in YouTube clips. On a recent episode of Live with Kelly and Mark, Mark Consuelos found himself in one of those "did that just happen?" situations, when a freaky mix-up involving none other than Al Roker spiraled into a full-on viral moment. The build-up? It started innocently enough. Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos were mid-show, breezing through their usual banter. Kelly was recounting an awkward encounter she had at the grocery store when Mark's phone buzzed on the desk. Normally, he ignores it, but this time the screen lit up with a bold-faced name, Al Roker. "Mark, are you seriously getting a call right now?" Kelly teased, arching an eyebrow. "I mean, it's Al Roker," Mark said defensively, holding up the phone like it was proof of his innocence. "You don't just ignore Al Roker." The audience laughed, but Kelly pounced. "Oh, you don't ignore Al Roker. But you ignore me when I call you during football season." Mark smirked, but instead of silencing the call, he swiped to answer, putting it on speaker. That's when the freaky part began. The wrong Al. "Hello, this is Mark," Consuelos said casually. On the other end, a deep voice answered, "Mark, it's Al. Listen, about the thing with the shoes." The audience chuckled, but Kelly leaned forward, confused. "Wait, that doesn't sound like Al Roker." Mark frowned. The voice was definitely not Al Roker's familiar, cheerful cadence. It was someone else entirely, someone gruff, mysterious, and a little unsettling. "This isn't Al Roker?" Mark asked, glancing nervously at the audience. "No," the voice shot back. "This is Al, from the gym. You know, the shoes. You said you'd bring them back." The studio erupted in laughter. Kelly doubled over, clutching her stomach. "Oh my gosh, you answered on live television thinking you were talking to America's favorite weatherman, and it's just Al from your gym." Mark's face flushed bright red. He tried to backpedal. Al, buddy, I think there's been some sort of mix-up." But Jim Al wasn't letting go. "No mix-up. You borrowed my weightlifting shoes, Mark, and I've been waiting for 2 weeks. I can't deadlift in flip-flops." The audience roared. Kelly nearly slid out of her chair from laughing. Enter the real Al Roker. Just when things couldn't get weirder, Kelly's producer frantically waved from off-camera. They had Al Roker, the real Al Roker, on the line, watching the chaos unfold from NBC headquarters. "Put him through! Put him through!" Kelly shouted, tears in her eyes. Moments later, the monitor behind the host lit up with a live feed of Al Roker, grinning ear to ear. Well, I didn't know my shoe game was so strong, Mark," he joked. The audience lost it, applauding wildly. Mark buried his face in his hands, shaking his head. "This is my nightmare. I've got 2 Als at the same time. One wants his shoes, one controls the National Weather Report." Honestly, Kelly cut in, wiping her eyes, this might be the best thing that's ever happened on daytime television. The double Al conversation. Rather than cut the moment short, the producers decided to roll with it. For the next 5 minutes, the studio audience, and millions at home, watched Mark juggle a surreal 3-way conversation between Jim Al and Al Roker. "Mark, I need sunny skies for my picnic this weekend," Roker teased. "Mark, I need my size 11 lifting shoes, or I'm reporting you to the front desk," Jim Al barked. Kelly clapped her hands together like a delighted child. "Oh, this is too good. America's favorite meteorologist versus Al from the gym. Who wins?" "Clearly not me," Mark muttered, flustered. The fallout. By the time the call ended, with promises that Mark would return the gym shoes and check the weekend forecast. #WAL was trending on Twitter. Fans couldn't stop posting clips of the bizarre interaction, dubbing it the most chaotic crossover in morning show history. One tweet read, "Mark Consuelos having beef with 2 different Als at once is peak comedy." Another joked, "Jim Al deserves a guest spot on Live. Don't play with that man's shoes." Al Roker himself kept the fun going. Later that day, he posted a photo of his own sneakers on Instagram with the caption, "Don't worry, folks, Mark never borrowed mine. We're good." Forecast, partly embarrassed with a chance of laughter. Kelly's delight. Kelly milked the incident for the rest of the week. Every time Mark tried to transition into a serious topic, she interrupted with lines like, "Do you think Jim Al has his shoes yet?" Or, "Careful, Mark, that cloud looks like a sneaker. Better ask Al which one it belongs to." Mark took it in stride, but admitted during the Friday episode that he hadn't lived it down at home either. "Our kids are now calling me 2Al Dad," he revealed, shaking his head. Kelly, barely containing her glee, added, "I think this is proof that you're living a secret double life. Morning TV host by day, shoe thief by night." Behind the scenes, producers later admitted the entire staff was in hysterics backstage. "We had to mute our headsets," one insider said. "We were crying laughing. You can't plan something like that. It's magic." Apparently, Jim Al has since been invited to appear on Live for a tongue-in-cheek segment. Rumors swirl that he might face off against Al Roker in a shoe showdown. Fans are already begging for it to happen. The lesson? In true morning show fashion, Kelly wrapped up the ordeal with a moral. If there's one thing we learned today, it's this: never answer your phone on live TV unless you're ready for a freaky mix-up that will haunt you forever. Mark groaned. Not haunted, trending. There's a difference. Kelly grinned. Same thing, babe. And with that, the Double Owl saga earned its place in live history, a freaky, hilarious reminder that when it comes to morning television, you truly never know what's going to happen.